From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, June 29th. Hot and humid air will lead the way for scattered showers and some storms to develop in the afternoon hours. And we can't rule out an isolated strong to severe storm or two for the northern half of the state. Highs will get up to the upper 80s and low 90s, so really hot. Make sure to be drinking that water and maybe make some plans that keep you inside in the air conditioning today. And violent crime keeps its hold on Indianapolis. The city's most recent shooting happened near 38th and Rural around 2 this morning. One person is hurt. Somebody shot and killed 2 people hours earlier on the east side. All of this while IMPD looks for whoever is behind a weekend shootout that forced hundreds to take cover. More on that in a little bit. Police say they did find the victims dead in a car as far as the shooting early this morning. At this point, investigators are still trying to piece together the puzzle but need help. Officers who were there at the scene say that the driver of the car had crashed into a pole on Woods Mall Drive near Mithofer Road just after midnight. Police are not sure what happened before the shooting and where exactly it happened. IMPD is just trying to find surveillance video from the area to help in their investigation, kind of piece that together. IMPD Major Carrie Buckner says there's hope for the new crime plan, which has only been in place for a few months. The biggest issue, he says, is staff. The department isn't getting a lot of applications for people who want to apply for the police department.
So our districts are running low that do the normal just patrolling and stopping cars and investigating people. And so when you don't have enough people to do the proactive stuff and do the service stuff, the normal everyday service for the public, it's really hard to concentrate on one. Yes. So we're running our officers very thin.
IMPD was called to a second shooting overnight near the 2900 block of East 38th Street. Officers found one person shot and say that victim is in stable condition. Earlier this month, Mayor Joe Hogsett announced new plans to address the root causes of crime. He says the city will spend nearly $2 million to implement and expand community-based programs. So a breakdown of the money will go is as follows: $370,000 to domestic violence reduction, $350,000 to boost mental health infrastructure, $390,000 to juvenile intervention, $680,000 to expand staffing at the Assessment and Intervention Center, $1.5 million in law enforcement technology, including community interaction systems, upgrades to technology infrastructure, increasing staff for data work, and increasing officer accountability. That plan will be addressed July 14th at the City County Council Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee meeting. And this morning, we're seeing damage from a weekend shootout in downtown Indianapolis. If you'd like to see the video, just go to wishtv.com right now. But I will tell you that there were bullet holes in windows and cars. So this happened around 1 o'clock Sunday morning. I talked about it here on the podcast yesterday. It was 2 blocks of Meridian Street, just south of the Circle. Outside on the street and inside at a night spot, people were seen running and ducking. There was screaming. IMPD says nobody was injured, but we did find 2 people, spoke to them about what happened right after the gunfire.
People started getting up and moving to the back of the bar. So we kind of just followed the crowd back there. And then we were back there for probably 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. And then finally security kind of got involved and let us know that the city was on lockdown and that we had to get out within 20 minutes.
There was at one point that they said if you're still here within 20 minutes that they were going to arrest everybody in the location.
Police say they don't know what led up to the shootout and are not saying if they know who did it. And a chance that Indianapolis and Marion County could open from COVID restrictions. Leaders are set to meet this afternoon at 2 to provide the latest stats and considerations. You can watch that live on wishtv.com. You can stream it through our news app or through our Facebook page. The health director set a goal of having 50% of the county vaccinated for reopening by the 4th of July. And this morning, that number stands at 48.6%. In addition to half of the population vaccinated, health leaders have also wanted to see fewer than 100 new daily cases. Were warning signs missed? That is the question a lot of people are asking after seeing some new pictures of the damage to the interior of a condo tower in Surfside, Florida, the one that collapsed, of course. The Miami Herald shared the pictures from an unnamed contractor. They were taken just before the deadly collapse. Isela Rosales reports.
Families wait in anguish, desperate for information about their loved ones, now missing for days.
We need them to work faster.
Hundreds of people search in shifts for any signs of life.
It's all hands on deck.
The dogs, the sonar, the cameras, the heavy equipment, and the men and women from all over the world.
The weather hasn't helped crews as they work their way through the debris.
There's definitely a concern with the rain and now the debris and possibly sliding, so it's an extremely dangerous situation.
The last time rescue crews pulled a survivor from the wreckage was the same day 55 units collapsed.
We're trying to stay very hopeful, and we are just praying for some good news.
Amid the prayers, questions. In 2018, a structural engineering firm noted, quote, significant cracks and breaks in the concrete that needed extensive repairs. 2 days later, meeting minutes note a Surfside town official told residents their building was in very good shape.
If in 2018 the damage was already so severe, why didn't they do anything?
A pool contractor who spoke to the Miami Herald took these photos showing cracks in the concrete, corroded rebar, and a wet floor in the basement level of the parking garage. 36 hours later, the building collapsed.
It's negligence, and their negligence caused a lot of death here.
In Surfside, Florida, I'm Isabel Rosales.
Now back here at home, water service is threatened at 2 apartment complexes on the north side of Indianapolis over some big bills. People living at Lakeside Point at Nora and Fox Club Apartments received a letter. Citizens Energy Group says it did not send it, but does acknowledge the issues. The flyer reads that water could be turned off as early as July 5th. Citizen says that's not true, but water services could stop a month later. The utility explains it's spoken with the owners of the complexes about a large unpaid balance for water bills. Citizen says it's hopeful it can reach an agreement with them soon. And today, the next step in a lawsuit pitting teachers' unions against the state. 3 unions are suing to stop a new law that requires unions to get permission from their members every year to collect dues through their paychecks. The unions in the lawsuit represent teachers in Anderson, Avon, and Martinsville. They contend the law violates teachers' constitutional rights by unfairly targeting them and making it harder for their unions to collect dues. Compensation for some college athletes is one step closer to becoming reality. The D1 Council voted to recommend the NCAA allow athletes to profit from their names, image, and likeness. All other amateurism rules would remain in place, like pay for play and payment for recruits to attend a certain school. The NCAA Division I Board of Directors is expected to vote on the policy tomorrow. To the Colts now. The full training camp schedule comes out today. The announcement is set for 11 this morning. We should find out the practice schedule, special themes for certain days, and some of the activities and events for families. Training camp will be back at Grand Park in Westfield this year. It was at team headquarters last year because of the pandemic. One highlight we already know is the Colts will host the Carolina Panthers for joint practices August 12th and 13th. City parks in Indianapolis are going smoke-free in just a couple of days, and breaking the rules could cost you. The smoking ban in Indy starts at Indy Parks starts on Thursday, July 1st. It includes cigarettes and e-cigarettes. And already there are new signs and maps up in the parks reminding people of those new rules. If you break the rules, you could pay a price. We're talking about $100 a ticket for your first offense and a court ticket, plus a fine of $200 to $7,500 for any following violations. The Indy Parks smoking ban was adopted by the City County Council in May. The effort of the ordinance is to help put the health of people, especially children, first by reducing secondhand smoke exposure, and secondly, to reduce the volume of cigarette butts littering the city green spaces. City County councilors say their goal is to promote both the health of people and a healthy environment, and that they would much rather hand out quit smoking resources than tickets when it comes to helping people stop smoking in Indy Parks. But starting Thursday, park rangers can issue those fines. Along with signs about the new rules, people will find quit smoking signs and resources up at most parks and in the family centers. Indigo is rebuilding its workforce by hiring more bus drivers. Indigo says the workforce took a big hit during the pandemic, but as people return to work and ridership numbers increase, Indigo is quickly hiring drivers to keep pace and ensure on-time service. There are more than 200 buses operating throughout the city. And one bus driver is Larry Patterson. He has been a bus operator for over 20 years. He drives the same route each day from the transit station to 21st Street and Midhofer Road. He says there are some perks to the job. Patterson and his family get free Indigo transportation and access to a free on-site clinic. The veteran bus driver says good customer service skills are key to his line of work.
It's what you make it, and if you come with a bad attitude, you'll get a bad attitude back. So I just hope I'm saying the right thing, that to encourage someone to come drive for Indigo. It's not a bad job.
It's a true public service, public servant position. And so people, we're looking for workers who like people, they like to drive, they want to see the city of Indianapolis. Come check us out.
Indigo is hiring full-time bus drivers. You must be at least 21 years old to apply and can receive up to $20.66 an hour the first year. There is paid training. The job comes with medical, dental, and vision insurance, a yearly uniform allowance, and retirement plan options. A new study suggests COVID-19 vaccines may offer long-term protection. Researchers at Washington University in St. Louis found people who got 2 doses of the Pfizer shot produced a type of immune cell that could provide protection for years. If more studies confirm the finding, the follow-up shots may not be necessary, at least in the near term. Experts are now looking at people who had COVID, recovered, then also got vaccinated to see if they have an even stronger and broader immune response. And the vaccine news comes as health leaders are increasingly worried about the Delta variant of the coronavirus. In a briefing last week, Dr. Anthony Fauci said the variant made up 20% of cases in the United States. According to the Indiana Department of Health, we've seen 106 cases so far in the state. Wish TV's medical expert and former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams says there is cause for concern. Less than half of the state's population is fully vaccinated.
It's important for people to know that viruses mutate. It's what they do. And we always knew that we were going to deal with different types of mutations. This Delta variant is concerning, however, because it's been proven to be more transmissible, which means it's easier to hop from one person to another person. The good news is that the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines both so far are working really well against all variants, which is why it's incredibly important for us to continue to encourage vaccinations, particularly in minority communities, particularly in rural communities, particularly in men and in younger people. All of these are groups of people who have lower than average vaccination rates.
Dr. Adams says the Delta variant is what overwhelmed the healthcare system in India just a few weeks ago. It accounts for the majority of cases in the United Kingdom. President Biden is in a new op-ed pushing hard for the passage of the bipartisan infrastructure agreement. Yahoo News posted the piece. In it, Biden writes, neither Democrats nor Republicans got everything they wanted in the agreement, but that's what it means to compromise and reach consensus, the very heart of democracy. When we negotiate in good faith and come together to get big things done, we begin to break the ice that too often has kept us frozen in place and prevented us from solving the real problems Americans face. The president also outlined specifics, including bridge repair, removal of remaining lead water pipes, and installing a network of 500,000 electric charging stations. Indiana Senator Mike Braun is also weighing in on the bill. In a statement, he says, in part, any compromise on paid-for infrastructure is a bad deal so long as President Biden, Speaker Pelosi, and Leader Schumer insist on pursuing a multi-trillion-dollar tax and spend reconciliation package to further transform Americans' relationship with our government through a cradle-to-grave welfare state. A gas shortage is hitting stations across the country before a popular travel weekend. A surge in people on the go, paired with a shortage of tank truck drivers, are blamed for the shortage. Drivers can expect to pay more at the pump compared to previous Independence Day weekends, according to Gas Buddy. The average for a gallon in Indiana is $3.10. In Michigan, it's $3.15, and a gallon in Illinois is going to cost you about $3.31. In Ohio, the average is $2.99. Tropical Depression Danny is moving through the southern U.S. It's over Georgia. So the National Hurricane System reports that Danny weakened from a tropical storm last night. In the opposite corner of the country, in the Pacific Northwest, there's a heat wave shattering records. In Portland, the airport hit 116 degrees. The Seattle-Tacoma airport hit a record 108. Spokane tied its all-time record of 105 degrees. And some streets are buckling under the intense temperatures in Washington state. Traffic crews had to divert cars and trucks during the evening commute to do emergency repairs. Farther south in Southern California, firefighters are battling intense temperatures and a brush fire in the San Bernardino National Forest. As of this morning, firefighters report they have it 20% contained. The Northeast is dealing with heat too. LaGuardia Airport in New York tied an all-time high for the day of 96 degrees. Researchers make a case against spanking and other forms of physical punishment. A study in the journal Lancet looked at 69 studies from around the world. The researchers found that children who were physically punished were more likely to develop behavioral issues, including being more antisocial, more aggressive, and more defiant. And tonight, the Indianapolis Indians host the Cubs' top farm team for the first time in nearly a quarter century. The Iowa Cubs are coming to town with extra firepower. Two big leaguers who are on rehab stints. And Wish TV is proud to be your home for the Indianapolis Indians. Tonight's game starts at 7. You can watch it all on our sister station, MyIndy TV 23. To some business headlines now. Medicaid enrollment is at an all-time high after millions of Americans who lost their jobs during the pandemic or face financial hardship turned to government-sponsored health care coverage. The data released last week by the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Services is striking. In January 2020, 71.3 million Americans were enrolled in Medicaid, the government insurance program for low-income people, and the Child Health Insurance Program, which provides public insurance to children. A year later, in January 2021, the programs counted 80.5 million enrolled individuals. The Government Accountability Office is urging NASA to step up its cybersecurity efforts. NASA identified almost 1,800 cyber incidents in 2020. The Inspector General's office found that NASA is highly vulnerable to intrusions due to its online presence of approximately 3,000 websites and more than 42,000 publicly accessible data sets. Google's 15 gigabyte limit for no-charge storage covers not just Google Photos, but also Google Drive and Gmail. Even plain text messages add up for those who opened a Gmail account early after the service debuted in 2004. Google's limit on unlimited storage went into effect June 1st. Procter & Gamble has launched a new treatment for people with nerve problems. It's called Nervive. It includes 3 supplements to address different nerve care needs. Nervive Nerve Health to fortify foundational nerve health, as well as Nerve Relief and Nerve Relief PM for occasional nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort due to aging for relief day or night. A federal judge dismissed a pair of antitrust complaints filed by the Federal Trade Commission and a group of state attorneys general against Facebook. That sent the stock way up and that made Facebook worth $1 trillion. The judge says the government's case failed to show that Facebook has a monopoly on social networking services. And finally, an Indiana runner with a remarkable life story is heading to Tokyo as part of the U.S. Paralympic team. Noah Malone's story could have ended years ago. News 8's Charlie Clifford explains his road to Tokyo.
Up close, nothing bothers Noah Malone. An Indiana high school 200-meter state champion at Hamilton Southeastern, who now runs at Indiana State despite plenty of interest from the Big Ten. Each race, a near miracle.
I can see well enough the lines and everything just on tracks, and I can see well enough to move around and be mobile. Everything's blurry, and then I just have to get close pretty much.
6 years ago, Noah's doctors discovered Leber hereditary optic neuropathy, a rapid and permanent loss of vision in both eyes.
A couple of days after noticing it, he said over the next year it's going to get a lot worse, and that's really scary for a 13-year-old kid. Once my vision got worse, I wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to compete.
Noah kept running and winning. Earlier this month in Minneapolis, making the U.S. Paralympic team for Tokyo, becoming the fastest visually impaired runner in American history.
That's a new U.S. record by 1.5 seconds.
I was blew away because I didn't know what the American record was beforehand. Right now, I'm ranked top 3 in the world in 3 different events, so I'm hoping to capitalize on that in Tokyo. My goals are to medal, so gold medals for the events I'll be competing in.
Just as Hamilton Southeastern High School paved the way towards athletic stardom, countless hours here gave Noah a chance to live the life he wanted. Now what happens from here is a gift for so many beyond Tokyo.
For, visually impaired people, just to inspire, and I wouldn't stop just because a life-changing obstacle came. You just gotta find a way to get through it.
Even when a gift is taken away, some find a way to guide us where we need to go. Charlie Clifford. Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Good luck, Noah. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling.
Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast.
The News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.